Strong looks different for each of us, and it's time to put focus on our unique journeys that get us there. This space, created weekly, is for athletes to improve their mindset in order to better navigate challenges that come up in sport and in different seasons of life. On this show, we ask the questions that lead to better answers and have the conversations that truly matter. This is the Becoming Your Strong podcast. Hey, you guys, welcome to another episode of the Becoming Your Strong podcast. Always so grateful that you're here. And today's episode, we're going to get vulnerable and it's going to hit. It's going to hit hard. But before I jump into what it is that we're chatting about this week, let's go ahead and recognize the Becoming Your Strong moment of the week. Ryan DeTurk, if you're listening to this, I just want to thank you so much for coming to the workshop yesterday. It was such a blessing to have you, but also just so proud of you and all of the work that you're doing. To give you some background, you guys, he did his very first DECA Strong in February at Pursuit Fitness, and since then has just fully jumped into the sport. This season, by now, he has a goal of going after the DECA trifecta. So doing the Strong, doing the DECA Mile, and then doing the DECA Fit. He's signed up for all three of them already. So we chatted yesterday during the workshop about a lot of different things, but one of the most memorable conversations that I had with him was about his work on his mindset through this entire process. And I wanted to share really quickly what I told him. He was talking about how he wishes he was more like an individual that him and I both know, where he always sees the glass as half full. Like, it's just so positive, so optimistic, just really is a positive force in the community. And I shared this with him as like, look, Ryan, here's the thing is my personal definition, and you can take it or leave it, of having a solid mindset is not when you can always see things as the glass half full with the absence of negative thoughts. Like, guys, negative thoughts don't go away. They just don't poof out of mirror. Like, they're with you all the time. What makes up a solid mindset is the ability to take the inevitable negative thoughts that are going to happen and come your way and recognize their place and reframe the story in a way that will better serve you. That is the definition of a solid mindset. And so we had a really good conversation around that. And again, I wanted to celebrate him as the Becoming Your Strong moment of the week. One, because people ask me all the time, how do you get better at DECA? How do you get better at all the things? And I tell them, you just have to go out there and try. You have to take that feeling of, I have no idea what I'm doing. I feel like I look ridiculous. I'm overthinking everything. And you just have to put that all aside and just go and do it. And he's doing that. He's going all in through competing in the different race styles and learning from different athletes. And if he keeps that up, he's going to be so stoked with where he finds himself by the end of this year. The other reason why I really wanted to shout him out was just due to the fact that he's realizing that jumping into this sport is now going to bring out the mental challenges that he finally has to face and deal with. Otherwise, he won't be able to progress, not just in the sport, but in his life. And that's the beautiful thing about sport, you guys, is that it brings up the things that we need to address in order to make us the best that we can possibly be. So shout out to you, Ryan, for putting in the work and leaning into what the process is bringing you. And if you keep doing that, I promise, again, you're going to be super stoked with where you end up by the end of this year. And guys, this is actually a perfect segue into what today's episode is all about, which is talking about what it takes to become one of the best. Because at the end of the day, right? That's what we all want. That's why we put so much work in. I want to personally share this before we go into this. Winning is not something that I'm used to. I've shared this before, but yet I've found myself over the last year that I have been on this streak of being the athlete to take top spots and being the person to watch out for. It's just been a total 180 from what I'm used to. Quite honestly, you guys, it's an uncomfortable place to be. It's a super uncomfortable season of life. I've been the hunter most of the time, and now I'm shifting from the hunter spot over to being hunted. I'm really good at losing. I know how to lose and how to lose humbly. And now I'm learning how to take on compliments and win humbly. It's just so different. But like I said, right? Winning is what we're all here for. It's what we really want. Well, I've dug deep on this lately, and I wanted to share what goes into being one of the best, seeing that now I'm on the streak of being one of those people within DECA and within some of the competition series that I compete in. What really goes behind the scenes, you guys, of to becoming one of the best is you are constantly battling the comparison game on if you can keep up with the others that are coming after you consistently. At one point, I was dying to be a part of the elite wave for DECA. And I would just be grateful if I ever got to share the course with them. Now, I'm always looking over my shoulder and figuring out how am I going to keep up or even keep a step ahead. This mindset has sent me into a place of scarcity and fear over a place of joy and gratitude. And I can tell you from experience that operating from this place will not lead you to more podiums. It will only lead to burnout and hatred for the sport that you once used to love doing. And I've been there. I've started to taste that and I hate it. I've had to work really hard, you guys, on the people that I choose to let into my circle, what I choose to consume, and how I view the world around me. So if you've struggled with this, I recommend that you focus on those things. I've had to put some people on mute on social media because I wasn't in a place to watch them win. I've had to reframe this awful feeling of jealousy that I want what they have and I don't have that. And I've had to shift that into hope for what's actually possible for me if I put in the work and do it my way. I've had to come back to my why and why I do what I do and create healthier steps for me to achieve that purpose. So I hope through that alone that you were able to resonate with something. Again, find something to work on if you feel like you felt this way. Another thing that goes into becoming one of the best, you guys, is doubting if what you are doing in so many different capacities like training, recovery, nutrition, mindset, all of it, is what you're doing enough. I question this all the time. I've doubted that what has gotten me to this point won't take me to the next place that I'm going because that's all you hear, right? Like you can't go to where you want to go doing what you used to do. And because of this, I've gone through phases of creating fancy workouts and creating the ultimate hell training sessions because I thought if I was doing that, then it would be enough to keep me competitive. I've spent countless dollars on all the fancy tools and resources in hopes that if I had just the magic answer, it would all be enough in the end. What I've come to find is that most of this stuff gets you absolutely nowhere and feeling stressed more than anything because you are trying to chase so many freaking moving targets. I've challenged this mindset, and what I've come to find is this, you guys. There is magic in what you did that got you to this point. To get to where you want to go next, you have to stay consistent in those fundamentals that got you here and realize that where you go next is actually dependent on the person you are willing to become. Are you willing to do the internal work to become the best you that will help you thrive at that next level? That is the difference. So it's not about doing all the things and doing as much as you can of all the things and trying to get creative and reinvent the wheel. No, it's about going back to the fundamentals and realizing that if I want to thrive at this next level, I have to show up as that person now that is at that next level. I have to become that person now. And that means facing everything and rising. And that moves into the next thing beautifully. Another thing that goes into becoming one of the best is struggling to celebrate yourself because you think you should have gone harder. The Kayla that completed her first DECA Strong in 20 minutes and got completely annihilated would be stoked with where she's at now. The Kayla that sat on the sidelines of the elite race wishing she could be where she is at now would have killed to be experiencing any of the success that she's seeing at this moment. I've gone from just chasing qualifications to even get an invite of any sort to world championships in just the age group wave to becoming a world champion and chasing world records down. It's absurd, the difference that's happened in a year. Anytime I struggle with celebrating myself, I have to go back and put things into perspective like this because the reality is is that this was not possible for the girl in 2018 that was depressed and lethargic on the couch at 205 pounds, living at her personal rock bottom. But now it is. And I want to spend less time wishing for more and spend more time enjoying what is, because there is so much joy and there's so much beauty waiting to be recognized around us if you choose to go and see it. Now I get it. This is so much easier said than done. And I'm still working to crack the code on this one. I am not perfect at it. But simple reframes like this, going back to my old self, have made all the difference. The last thing that I want to share with you when it comes to being one of the best is realizing that your desire to win might be an actual need for being enough. Let that sink in. I've realized that winning has become a deep-rooted desire because it fulfills a need that I have yet to have fulfilled in several years. That people see me as worthy and enough finally because I've done all these things. I've had to sit with that and unpack this a lot and shift this mindset over to your outcome isn't your worth. And if anything, the outcomes themselves are just more of a sign that today maybe wasn't your day, and that's okay. It was someone else's day, and one day it will be yours when it's the right time. And it's okay that it's not the right time right now. It does not mean anything that you are less than or that you did not do enough. It's just today is not your day. Now, on the flip side of that, I've also had to be okay with wanting to win and realizing that it is okay and creating healthier reasons for wanting to win. I know if I go for the top spot, the person that I have to become in order to achieve that outcome would be insane. I would be so stoked to show up as that person on a regular basis. And that's why I'm ultimately chasing the win. I want to be that person that has her own back always. I want to be that person that believes in herself. I want to be that person that rises to the occasion when other people are next to her pushing her. I want to win not because of what it means just simply to win, but because of who I get to become in the pursuit of going for it. All of this to say, you guys, winning isn't all that it's made out to be. It's truly not. And once you're a champ, I can tell you the pressure of expectations become very, very real. But as you can see, it's also made me a better human. It's forced me to tackle the demons hiding in my closets, so deep in those closets for so many years. You might hear this and you were thinking today that you were going to get like, oh, these are all the steps to become a world champion. No, this is what literally goes on behind the scenes that you will have to deal with if you want to become a champion and stay a champion in your life. You might not be jealous of this and how I got here and how I'm staying here, but I hope that when you find yourself in this season of life, when you yourself are the champion, you lean in and you let how life is showing up for you create the person you've always been capable of becoming. Because if you do, you are going to live your life in a way that you never could have imagined. Thank you guys so much for showing up for you today. I hope that this episode truly resonated. If it did, you know the drill. Be sure to rate and review the podcast. Share this with friends and family that need to hear it. And you guys, just mic drop. Mic drops all over the place. I don't know what's coming for you next week, but be sure to tune in because I'm sure it'll be something great. We'll see you guys next week.